Legends, what's up? Another week. Market's going a bit sideways, so I haven't done a video. Wasn't really much to talk about markets-wise, but there seems to be some movement. So let's do a chart review. But before we get to that, I wanted to cover something that I don't often cover, but I really should. Because Coinshares puts out this report once a week. It's really good. And it's the digital asset fund flows report, and it just talks about, all the money in TradFi coming into all the ETFs and stuff like that. Last week, the third largest on record. So that's good. So buyers are stepping back in. So here's the chart of the flows per week. So this is week 17 of this year, and this is what they're saying here is week 34 of last year, right? So big flows towards the end of the year. This was week 49. So, around Christmas time, then we had that massive outflow with the sell-off with the tariff stuff, but now we're back. What does it say? Digital asset investment products saw inflows of 3.4 last week, the largest since mid-December. Yep. The third largest on record. Bitcoin investment products were the main beneficiaries, 3.18 out of the 3.4. So that just goes to show you how much it's pretty much just Bitcoin only, doesn't it? Ethereum investment products saw 183 million last week. 8-week run of outflows. Solana was the only one to see outflows last week, totaling 5.7. So let's have a look. Everybody bought. BlackRock up, Grayscale up. Pretty big. Month to date, Grayscale is out. That's probably more of a rotational thing, though. Is Grayscale, the way their fees and that are, is not ideal, so people are moving into there. Assets. So Solana was the only one out. Multi-asset is in, so that's like all of these. Bitcoin absolutely dwarfing everything else. PIF is on the report now. Okay. Sui's getting some attention. Ripple. Flows by country. Australia had some flow. That's good. United States dwarfing everybody. Switzerland and Germany. Right, good. Everything's looking good there. The next one that I want to cover off is probabilities of the US cutting interest rates. So that happens at the FOMC meeting. The next one is in 5 days. 5 days, 16 hours. That's next week. So if you head to the CME group page, and then here's the probabilities. The blue in this table here is the probabilities of where the interest rate will be. So there's the one on the 7th of May that's coming up. There'll be a 95% chance that interest rates will be between 425 and 450. And that's what it currently is. So meaning that the next meeting, most people, well, pretty much everybody thinks that they're not going to do anything. But the next meeting on the 18th, there's a 56.6% chance that it'll move down 25 basis points to this range. 40% believe that it will stay where it is. 2.9% believe that it'll move down by 0.5%. Probabilities so far will be an interest rate cut in the United States at the next meeting after the one that's next week. So that is the 8th of June. And then another cut after that in July, but then nothing in September, and then one in October, one in December, one in January, and then one in March, but then nothing after that. Dropping from 4.25 down to 3. They're not doing anything now, which is not really unexpected considering that all of the reporting for the quarter has only just come out. All of this really depends on what tariff stuff's going to do. There's that 90-day pause. So what deals can be done between now and the end of the 90-day pause? I don't know. If I was the chair, I'd probably not do anything this coming meeting either. The next one you would start to see the economy really feeling the force of the tariffs. Because when the tariffs got announced, there were all these businesses, they bought stock and everything to get ahead of it, so they didn't have to pay the tariffs. So the price hikes had only just started to come in. And then you've got these government reports that come out and they're always behind, right? So they're always lagging and they don't know what's happening. So, yeah, probably wise to wait. But the next meeting, yeah, fully expect a cut. I do anyway. So whether we see this number go up higher, I don't know, probably. Well, we will see. So that's the interest rate outlook for the US. Cuts, 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 cuts. If the tariffs keeps going, they're going to go into a recession. So let's look at Bitcoin then. We've retraced all the way back to the 618. So this is good. This is really good. If we can hold this and keep going, and this becomes the new base, that's great. Like, this is the line in the sand for me, the golden fit, because this is where we went sideways for a week, and I was worried that, bears were, like, the bulls were going to get tired, and then the bears were going to reject from here and then come back down to 88. So, like this, then down, then up, and that would have been okay, but sentiment would have been pretty shit. But what's happened now is that we've broken the resistance here and the 618. So now it's trying to go up here. So this candle, this daily candle here, is only like an hour old. So we'll see what's happened on the 4 hour. You can see what's happening. There's like an ascending triangle sort of thing happening, which is good. And if we draw this to here, and then we make it poppy, so about 105 is where this pattern resolves. If you don't know about flags, you just draw the flagpole and then copy it, and then the distance to target is the length of the flagpole. Very simple, and how you draw it, you don't have to be too precise because it's not going to exactly be to the extent that it stops. Just use it as like a ballpark. So if we go back to the daily, 105 is a lot of coincidence if you want, but that's the top of the range here where it was before. So 1059, so 106, right? That's where these candles closed. So that would be good. So could be seen, if this starts to go up, even with the macro outlook with the tariffs and all that still shit, you could be seeing finally that crypto is actually decoupling for real. Right? Because if you think about it, Bitcoin isn't just a US thing, even though the US are the only ones really buying it in size, because we saw that just before from the Coinshares report. But the US doesn't control Bitcoin. It doesn't control the protocol. It's decentralized and permissionless, right? MicroStrategy seems to be buying it all. They don't control it per se. They can't issue more of it. Just because you hold it doesn't mean you control it. And people that can't buy gold to protect themselves from US stocks because they're all in the shit because of tariffs, they're going, well, maybe you start buying Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin goes up, everything else that's correlated will go up too, which is a good thing. That's why we're all in this, yeah? So it looks promising. There's still a bit of traffic to get through. Yeah, it's a bit choppy here, and we're in the middle of the chop. Ideally, if we start closing above this level here, game on, and we're heading back to 105. Let's have a look at what's happening in the news. 6 years, 2 prime, and SEC registered investment advisors operated as one of the largest digital asset derivative firms in the world, yada yada. Despite the success we have had with ETH, we have determined as a firm to focus only on Bitcoin asset management and lending going forward. ETH's statistical trading behavior, value proposition, and community culture have failed beyond a point that is worth engaging. The risk reward is simply unjustifiable at this point, with Bitcoin available as an alternative. Yikes. Fair. For a company like 2 Prime, if they've already got 2 choices, because of all the structured products and stuff that they can get hands on. It's only Bitcoin and ETH. Which one are you going to choose? Of course, it's Bitcoin. The Apple tax is dead. A federal court just ruled Apple must allow apps to link to external checkouts with no restrictions and no 30% cut. Oh, this court thing has been going on for years. That's good. Well done, Epic. Thank you very much. Fighting the good fight for everybody else. Apps can now sell NFTs, tokens, digital assets directly and keep 100% of the revenue. I mean, and not even just, like Web3 apps. It means that anyone doing an app can have an external payment system and they don't have to pay Apple 30% cut. Ooh, here's something. Doomers. China says currently evaluating possible US trade talks. Love it. Love it. So that came out zero hedge 43 minutes ago. So let's have a look at the chart then. Here's the S&P. Let's go to the hourly. So 43 minutes ago would be at least. I love how they do it right at the daily close. We always have these announcements at the daily close. Anyway, 43 minutes ago, oof, there's the large volume there too, relatively speaking, in the ending hours. So yeah, great, good. Market loves it. If the S&P starts going up, then so do we. So the hourly candle will close in 25 minutes. We want to close above the last close here. It's looking good. The daily is stuck under the 200 EMA, which is this purple line. And it's roughly around where this here is too. So resistance, right? If it punches through this, ooh, boy. So like this and then that and then away. Or maybe straight up to this area. Let's draw that in. So there's an area here of interest. So it could do that and then maybe come back down and go. Trade talks. Everything's trade talks. It really doesn't matter what you're trading. Be memes, DeFi, Bitcoin, equities, doesn't matter. If these trade talks go through and everybody's happy, like the countries are happy and the tariff worry goes away, everything is going to pump so hard your head will spin. Generally speculate on short-term Bitcoin price action, but some provided by some pessimistic perspectives. Bitcoin is up 25 from the April lows. Assets rarely trade below their cost of production. Yes, that is true. Bitcoin mining. So that's that green line. The metric has timed each of the plus 6 coin bottoms. So here's the chart that they've provided. The average miner break-even cost. So this is the cost to mine Bitcoin. There'll be electricity costs and hash rate. If the hash rate goes up, it becomes more difficult. So you need more actual computer hardware. Which if you have more computer hardware and more miners, it's more electricity on top of the electricity cost per kilowatt itself. Then there's probably insurance and all the other stuff that professional miners have. So that's the cost basis. It's been the bottom since 2015, pretty much bang on. So cost has come up here, looking good. So as long as if price follows hash rate, that's like the golden rule. Hash rate continues to go up, price goes up. Why would this be? If a mining company can't sell the Bitcoin enough to cover the costs of mining it, then competition starts going down. So you need to shut the miners off because you can't afford to can't afford to run them. So if you shut the miners off, then the hash rate goes down because there's less mining competition to get the next block. So it's been going up the entire time. So we're good here. So it looks like if you look at this, that the average cost is around where the dip was. So that's around like 70, 80K or something. So next is long-term holder supply. This measures the amount of Bitcoin that have not moved on chain in at least 155 days. So that is the black one. So that's starting to curve up. So people are holding. That's good. Your liquidity. So that's orange is price, black is net liquidity. Yeah, so if global liquidity increases, if they print more money as well, just flooding so this is why lots of people track stable coins entering the system. Circle printed more USDC or Tether printed more Tether coin, right? All these dollars entering the system. It's a good thing. Meteora, we proposed a 25% allocation towards the liquidity rewards at TG Reserve. This will address concerns about using Meteora after TGE and open the door to future rewards. Okay. Yeah, so if you've been farming Meteora for the airdrop, so that is providing liquidity on their pools, check that out. I've got some pools running, so I'm earning fees from trading and whatever, and looking for that airdrop. I don't know how big it's going to be, but hopefully it's good. Jesse Pollock watching every account on CT just coin it on Solana a week after they crucified him for telling people to just coin it on base. Yeah. So last week, Jesse Pollock, which is like the lead guy from base, was I think it was with Zora. He was pushing Zora really hard. Just coin it, like just launch it on Zora and blah blah blah. And there's this new protocol on Solana, I think launched in the last 24 hours. This one. What they're doing, they're going to post about it. But here's an example. So, Matt's a pretty popular guy. So, they're trying to get all the calls on Twitter to launch a token using their protocol. And if they do, they get an airdrop. 700,000 boot is the airdrop that Mert would get if he launches a token, which is $250,000 worth at the current price of the boot token. I think the catch is the rewards are locked for 30 days, and the token that you launch has to make like 5 million market cap or something like that. So that's what that post was referring to. So like everybody's just like creating a token now. So depending on how you feel about that, like there's some big accounts that are just not doing it because they can see it's like a sellout type thing, and then others are just going, look, this airdrop would be really handy for me. It would help me, I don't know, put a deposit on a house or whatever. So I'm just going to launch a token to claim the airdrop. Don't buy the token. It's not going to do anything. I'm not going to support it, yada, yada. So depending on how you feel about that, that's what's happening currently. 10 million tokens have officially been created on Pump Fund in 16 months. That's ridiculous. Most of these don't graduate to Radium, though, so at least there's that. But, this is why you just stick with the big memes, unless you really know what you're doing with trenching and stuff like that. If you're just a casual observer, just stick with the popular memes. They're going to burn 1 trillion bulk when they get to 1 million holders. Cool. 1 trillion sounds like a lot, but it's not really when you take into account that I think the total amount of tokens is like near 80 trillion. So a little bit over 1% of the supply. I mean, that's still good, but yeah, everything's relative. I'm not a premium subscriber to Twitter, but I mean, jumping from 300 to 690, damn. Okay. This cycle's overperformance of Bitcoin and underperformance of ordinals will be studied for decades. It's not surprising to me that it failed, or is failing. If you have actually tried to trade that stuff, you would know why it failed. The user experience of trading tokens on Bitcoin chain is awful. If you thought the experience trading Ethereum chains with the proving and the gas and everything is awful, this is 10 times worse. Ethereum are now neck and neck, but momentum favors Solana. It looks like soon Solana will become the largest ecosystem of founders for the first time. Okay, there's the blue Solana. It's coming a bigger piece of the pie. Ethereum being the green is getting smaller and smaller. Oh no, this is wrong. He fuck delete. Yes. Oh god, man, that's just bad. Let's just scroll past that. Here's the Bitcoin dominance chart, just going up and up and up and up and up. I don't see it changing, to be honest. I really don't. And that doesn't mean you can't make money by buying old stuff, right? I talked about this in the last video. The reason why this is going up is because you're measuring it against like Ethereum makes up the largest part of its calculation, right? Because it's Bitcoin versus everything else. And Ethereum is the biggest coin of the everything else group by a long margin. And if you look at the ETH-BTC chart, you'll know why it's tanking. Like, this is going up because that's tanking. It's been tanking for years. Second quarter, North Korean hacker trying to steal its Bitcoin. Good. They've been doing it for years too. North Carolina Senate passes the Bitcoin bill reserve on the first reading after the House passed it yesterday. Cool. So more states now are making it official that they're going to be buying. Huge mindshare score for Hyperliquid. PYDX used to be really popular. It's tiny now. 83%. Gold has topped for a while. 10% Bitcoin at 500K. Yeah, let's check gold, and then I think that'll be it. Last video I said gold looks like it was topping, and that was here. And then it did, so it's down now quite a bit. That's 8%. Yeah, on the weekly it's pulled back quite a lot. It's the run up. So the run up for gold started here. So probably 382 is the first level I'd look at, which is also just happens to be where this wick is. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if gold came back to 2,800, but it would still be in a bull run, even if it came back that far. All right, so that's good. So if people, I mean, it was overheated, it needed to come back anyway. Return to the mean, as it were. So the average is probably about around here. Just quickly before we go, is there any major news items we need to worry about before, like the end of the week? And not really until, so we got non-farm payrolls in the US at 10:30 p.m. my time. So that'll be, I'll be asleep by then, but so we'll find out what happens there tomorrow morning. And tomorrow is Aussie elections, where we vote in the next Prime Minister. But there could be a government change in Australia coming up soon. Could be. Who knows? Who knows? If you believe the polls, it's very tight. So anyway, that's it for me, and I'll see you in the next video.